Hello, friends. Welcome and welcome back to 8 Moon Phases. My name is Chivis, and welcome to another week of crafting. um, Today is Tuesday. I haven't recorded for the past few days. Well, one day actually, but I was kind of planning out what I wanted to do. This past weekend, I found a few patterns that I want to work on, and I'm kind of venturing away from cross stitching and crocheting and all that fun stuff, and we're kind of making our way back to sewing. So I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I finally printed out the patterns. I do have a few, and I'll walk you through them, and then I'll tell you which one I'm going to start with. But before I do that, if you haven't already, please make sure that you subscribe, enable that notification bell. That way you'll be notified every time that I upload a video. And if at any point throughout this video you like what you see, make sure you hit that like button. It is free and it helps a lot. All right, so as I mentioned in the last video, I wanted to make a pouch-like thing for my embroidery slash cross stitch. And that is not what we're making. Unless I find one throughout this week, then I'll go ahead and plan it out and make it. But I do have a few things that I want to do. Now, I kind of found a pouch, but I don't know if it's going to work because I might need to make it a little bit bigger depending on the size of the embroidery hoop that I'm using or the size of the fabric that I'm using for the cross stitch or the embroidery. Like for my little animals that I'm stitching, I think that would work fine. But for the bigger embroidery projects, I might need to take them off the hoop and try to like fold them or make a size bigger than what I have here. And it is called the dumpling pouch. Persimmon dumpling pouch. This is a free pattern that I found, and the page is So Sweetness. It comes in 3 different sizes, and literally this is the whole thing. This is it. You have a large pattern, you have a medium pattern, and then you have the smaller pattern. You cut it on the fold, so you have 2 sides that are equal, and then you just go through and sew it. I do have the pattern with the instructions. I didn't print those. I just printed the templates. And those of you that didn't know, or those of you that are new for patterns, this is kind of like the gauge to see if it is the exact size that you need. Now, I haven't measured it, so I don't know if my printer works. And yeah. Well, actually, it's a little bit off. My square is measuring a little bit bigger than an inch, but sizing is not, it doesn't need to be precise. So I'm really not picky about it, especially because these are for me, and depending on how they turn out, again, it may be something that I add to our online store once I have it open. Another pattern that I found from So Sweetness is the Faithwell storage bins, and they also come in 3 different sizes, and the templates are kind of all mixed together. So this would be the side where you grab the handles from, and then you have the bottom, which is a circular pattern. And this one you do have to kind of piece together. You notice these go together like this. Right about there. Yeah. So I would have to cut off, put it together. These little notches here kind of help you align everything. And then this would be the other part. So you have the exterior fabric, lining, foam interfacing, and then one shape flex interfacing, which if I do it, I only have the lining, well, the foam interfacing or regular interfacing. Again, these are just kind of trials for myself. I kind of want to see how they work out. We do have the larger one. I believe this is the larger one. We have a medium one and also have a small one. For this one, I might try out the medium one simply because I just kind of want to see how it turns out. Another pattern, and this one is because I've been wanting to kind of explore and experiment with sewing stuffed animals. I think I'd mentioned it previously. And I found 3 templates of some little plushies that we can make. One of them is a Rex, and this one I found from cholinite, however you pronounce that. You have it right there. And they do have the embroidery file as well if you want to embroider the eyes, or if you want to cut the templates out for the eyes, you also have them right there. I might just go with cutting them. I do have some felt fabric over there that I can use specifically for the eyes. Now, I would prefer to have some like fluffy fabric to be able to make these. I don't have any currently, but I do have like some stretchy knitted fabric that I might consider using just to kind of see how it turns out. Again, these are all going to be mock-ups / experiments to see how they turn out because I have no idea. I also have a whale. We have the sides. This is the top of the whale, and then we have the bottom and the fins. This one, that's the page that I found it from. Honestly, I found it. I just Google searched it and I found it. It was free. I think I found it on Pinterest. But yeah, those are some of the projects patterns that I want to do this week. I'm full disclosure, it's not going to be all of them. I know that for a fact that it is not going to be all of them. However, I'm going to try to get at least 2 of them, maybe, possibly 3. The dumpling pouch looks very simple, hopefully, not too complicated. The whale, I do want to get that one done as well. And then from there, I'll see maybe if one of the storage bins might work to be able to get these done. You can never have enough storage bins. And finally, I do have the bear. I want to make a memory bear. I want to learn how to make memory bears. Because so I did find a pattern from, I can't remember, but I will find it and I will add the name somewhere on the screen so you guys can see it. It was a free pattern again, and it has all of the pieces that you need and where they go connected. So we have the head, we have this is like the top part, we have the head back, we also have ears on this page, we have all of the limbs on this side, and then we have the body centers. So, and then again, we have a test square. This should measure 10 centimeters. I'm pretty sure my printer is going to be a little bit off, but yeah, this one would need to be a little bit bigger. These are currently at 9 centimeters. 9-ish. So I have decided I'm going to use all of the blues that I have. I need to order more fabric, or like kid-friendly fabric. I don't have any. And I do want to make memory bears. I want to try one for myself first, which I'm probably going to use old shirts that I have. I have a lot of old shirts, like t-shirts that I used to wear. So I'm going to probably make it out of those. I think I'm going to go with all of the blues that I have here. I know it's kind of a mix match, but again, I'm not going for coordination. I literally am just wanting to make the pattern. I may reduce it. I may stick to make the sides with this one and then put the strip on top. I do want to make the belly a darker color, so I might make this the belly and then just use two different fabrics for the fins, which that might work. Do like a darker one and a lighter one. I'll see. I will see. I'm going to continue to think about it. And then once I have decided, I'll go ahead and cut my pieces. And then we'll be back tomorrow to see, hopefully we can start sewing. and putting it together. But again, tomorrow's a late day, so I don't know how much I'll get done tomorrow. If not tomorrow, for sure on Thursday. All right. I'll see you guys. The next clip will be either cutting our fabric or bringing you back once I have had it cut. I'll see you soon. Now, the pattern I want to start with is going to be the whale. I do have 2 nephews, and I would like to make 2 of them. They seem fairly self-explanatory. Again, I do have the pattern. I think the whale one only came with a template. So that one I would have to figure out how to make on my own. And to see if there's any tweaking or anything that I need to fix as I go through it. I'm not entirely sure, but it seems fairly simple. It's only 4 pieces that I need to mess with. I do need to make 1 bottom, 4 fins, 2 sides, and then the top. And I'm hoping it all works out. Now, like I said, I do want to make these for my nephews. I might put some button eyes on it, or I might do some felt eyes on it. I'm still debating. One of them is 1 year old. The other one is 3. So I want to make it safe for them, obviously. They're not in the let's put everything in our mouth phase anymore. However, I still want to make it safe, right? So I'll debate if I want to put buttons or if I want to put the felt and kind of just like embroider it on there or find a way to stick it on there. Now, the next order of business would be to find the fabric that I want to use. Now, yes, I want to make this. I did see or have seen the purse that is in the shape of a whale. I would love to get to make that at some point. I would need to find the pattern. If I find a picture, I'll put it up here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And honestly, it's kind of like been sitting in my head where I want to make shapes into purses. A fish. I've seen that one as well, like the little drawstring fish bag. I've seen all sorts of animals. I think I've seen turtles that are bags, but the whale one in particular is one of them that I really, really like how it looks. So I don't know, maybe in the future. First, I want to try to make this one to see how it turns out. And then maybe with this pattern, just tweaking it, I might be able to make the purse. But I don't know. I do want to go ahead and work on these then. Let me go and gather my fabric. I may not start them today. I do want to prep though. So I would want to find the fabric. And I would want to be able to find or cut out the templates and the fabric. That way I'll have it ready. Tomorrow is going to be a late day at work. I will be coming home a little bit late, so I may not get to sew much. But Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'll have time to work on it. And hopefully you know what? I'm going to look for fabric as well to make one of the dumpling pouches. That way I have 2 projects going on at the same time, and I'm not trying to like finish one and then sew, finish one and then sew. The week goes by super, super fast. So I want to make sure that I'm able to get at least 2 projects done. Hopefully, maybe Saturday I can, just get one out quickly before the end of the video for this week. But I'm not sure. I want to at least get the whale and the pouch, but we shall see. Let me go ahead and find the fabric and I'll bring you guys back once I have made a selection. The problem is that I don't have a lot of boy fabric. I have a lot of pretty fabric. So I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I find. And then if I have to go buy some, then that'll probably set us back a little bit, but we shall see. I know that for the pouch, it doesn't really matter what fabric I use. Obviously, it's going to be blue, most likely. And I do have some of that, but let me see what other type of fabrics I find. I know I have some Mickey Mouse. I have some Harry Potter. I have some Avengers. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what we find for these whales. I want to make them different. I don't want to make them identical, though that would be cute. Let me go find some fabric and then I'll bring it over. I'll show you guys and maybe you guys will help me make a selection telepathically because by the time you guys see this video, they'll be done. All right, let me go. Y'all like my shirt? Alrighty, so I have found some fabric. I was debating if I should do some patchwork and make the whales in patchwork style, simply because I found quite a bit of a variety. I didn't get any of the recognizable characters. I do have the majority of it is blue. I have a little bit of green, but blue is usually my jam. So I have these three that have green, and I know they look very, very blue as well. But I was thinking maybe at some point to be able to combine them. This one might be out of the question. I don't really like how it looks. But I have these two, and I have the star one. Most of these are fat quarters because I go to the store and I go to the fabric section and I just pick them up and put them in my cart or my basket and buy them. So I do have these. These are on the lighter side. I do have this one. This one I love, 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 love this color. And I only have this one and one more. So I don't know if I want to use it. I do have two different star ones. One lighter, one darker. And I have this one. And then I do have some solids that I can use as well. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces that I need to cut. I'm debating how I can coordinate these. I think I want the belly a darker color, so I'm probably going to go with just the plain navy. And then kind of coordinate the fins and the sides. What I was thinking on doing is making them like mirror images. So I know I said I didn't want to make them the same, but if I make the mirror images, then yeah, they won't be fighting for them. I also want to possibly embroider their name on it. I think that would look very cute.
Editing me here. Just wanted to let you know that I forgot to turn on my mic for this section, but I am just showing you the fabric that I had picked, letting you know that the two print colors were going to be for the tops, and I was going to use that solid blue for the bottom. And I think I was telling you guys that I was going to use the mirrored or like alternating fabric. You'll see in the later clip, but yeah, enjoy me talking to myself for this section, and I'll see you guys soon in the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by laying out the fabric that I just ironed. I'm going to lay out the bottom. I do need to cut 2 pieces. That's why I folded it. One for each of the whales. For the blue parts, I do need to make sure that I have one for each of them. So it's fairly straightforward, just cutting it out, making sure that I make all the little marks that need to be made. I did not make the notches for the letters that are on there. Later, I found out that I should have. It kind of helped with the alignment of it. But I am going to go ahead around and pin all of the patterns just to make it a little bit easier to cut. So for the next fabrics, I'm going to do the exact same thing I did with the solid. I do need to make sure that I have the pieces that I need. So I'm going to cut two of each of the sides. So technically it would be a total of four, two out of each of the prints, and then two of the tops. And again, those are the ones that I'm going to swap. So they're going to be kind of inverted. And I'm just repeating the same steps that I did for the tail that you guys can see off in the corner. I'm just making sure that all of it is pinned, all of it is straight, and that I have all the pieces that I need.
Alrighty, so I have now cut out all of my pieces, and as you see them laying there, you can see this is the belly. This is what's going to go underneath. We have the two sides for one, the two sides for the other. I did alternate the fins on them, and then this is going to be the top. So the top is going to match the fins, and then the sides will be separate. So again, it's like a mirror image. They both have each of the colors or all of the colors, and then I just had a solid bottom, which I think is going to look pretty cute. I was thinking if I should reverse them, have them have the same color fin, and then have the bottom look like the fabric, but I don't know. I'll see. I'll sew them first because I do need to pin these in this manner. Sew them and then turn them out so they can look like this. And then I'll decide if I want to leave them like this or if I'm going to flip them so you can see the fabric or the print on the bottom and the plain one on the top. I don't know. I'll see. But yeah, there's where we are so far. I think I'm going to just kind of pin a few of the things right now, and then I'll start sewing them tomorrow. I will not sew today, but I'll bring you guys back either tomorrow or Thursday so you guys can start seeing how we put them all together. This one should be cool. I think from here, or I might show you guys in the next clip the fabric that I'm using for the dumpling pouch, or I'll finish this one and then I'll move on to the dumpling pouch. Not sure. Just like we do everything in this channel, very indecisive, but at the end we figure it out. But anyway, I'll see you guys soon for the continuation of this project.
So as you guys can notice, right in front of me is a microphone that is not turned on and the receiver is not connected to the phone. However, we are continuing this project. I was just explaining that I had pinned all of the whale that we're going to go through and sew the edges around and making sure that we adjusted that. And then I went on to explain that we were not going to do the dumpling pouch, that I had changed my mind because I didn't have a long zipper. So I did have to think on my feet and switch to make a different pouch. I was browsing online and I saw something that kind of gave me an idea of what we could do. So I went ahead and cut out the fabric for what I was wanting to create. And then later on, when we finish sewing the whales, then we would go ahead and move on to work on our pouch.
All right, so I had done an intro, letting you know what we were going to work on. And apparently, I didn't have my mic on, but that is okay because now I do. And all I'm doing is I replaced my thread because I had pink thread on. And now I am sewing the little whales. I did announce that I had another project to work on, which I had mentioned that I was going to do. It is not the persimmons dumpling pouch that I mentioned because that one requires a zipper, a long zipper, and I don't have long zippers. I think the longest I have is a 9-inch, and I need a 20 plus inch. So I'm gonna had to adjust a little bit, which we did. And I do have the fabric for another type of pouch that I want to make. I saw something similar on the internet and I kind of just rolled with it. There is no pattern for it. It is an original. But if you guys like it, I will definitely work on making a pattern. I can definitely do that. So right now I'm going to work on sewing the tops of the whale, and I'm going to sew the little flippers, fins, whatever. And yeah, that's what we're working on right now. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. I do have to be careful because all of the sides are curved. So we have one straight side with a curved side. So I'm kind of just taking it slowly, making sure that I do it as close to the edge as possible and like they're not all wonky. And if they are, it's fine. Again, these are like, it's the first time that I make them. So I'm okay with making a few mistakes. But I'm going to try to be as careful as possible. And yeah. So I'll bring you guys back. I'll show you guys a little bit of the process, but definitely bring you guys back once I have them. I know I have to trim the edge out and then flip them to the other side. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to sew or attach this. This goes attached at the bottom. So I do have to attach that and then leave an opening for flipping it out. And then obviously I need to stuff it. So I think that's going to be a little bit more complicated. That's the part where we're going to have to add the fins to them as well. But we'll get to that eventually. I'm going to do the long sides here on both sides, and then I'll do the fins, and then we'll figure the rest of it out. Join me. Currently, I am done with the whales. They look like this. They're still very floppy because I have not stuffed them. But we have, remember that they're mirroring. I have you guys here because I lost the clip for the mic. Well, I didn't lose it, it fell and it's over there. Anyway, here are the two little whales. I still obviously have not closed the front. This is where I flipped them from. This is what they look. They have a few imperfections. Second one came out better than the first one. However, they're still a little bit imperfect, but I'm okay with it. I just need to stuff them. I need to sew them up, close them, what currently looks like their mouths. And then I need to put eyes on them. I think I'm going to go with button eyes. Just because I think it'll be easier. And then they'll be done. I did want to embroider them. I think on the belly, because it's what's either on the belly or like with an orange on the side. This so it'll stand out a little bit more. But yeah, I'm gonna continue working on these right after I tell you guys about this little pouch that I'm gonna make. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on it. Let me grab the clip for the microphone because I do need to put the scissors down. So let me grab it real quick and then I'll transfer you guys over to, let me pick up a little bit because I have a little bit of a mess on the table. And then we'll still be here, but I'll explain what I'm going to do and how it's going to look. Alrighty? Give me 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back. And the microphone is in its place now. This is still here. I have not finished added the border or anything on it, but I kind of like how it looks as a background. Okay, so I still haven't ironed it. I do have to iron these two pieces. This is going to be my lining fabric on the inside. This will be my outside fabric. Like I said, I'm not doing the persimmon dumpling pouch yet. I do want to complete it, obviously, but I do need to make a trip to the store to find a long zipper. So for the time being, I'm going to only work on this pouch that I kind of came up with on my own. And it's literally it's kind of like an envelope. So the point or the idea is to sew it. Actually, I decided I was going to leave about a 2-inch tab. I will sew it all the way down. So then when you open it, you kind of just flip it and then close it again. That, or I can use some snaps to close them. But I think I'm going to go with the sewing option. I'll walk you guys through it. I will move you guys a little bit over here because I need to iron a few things, cut a few things. I am going to add some interfacing to it. I'm not going to quilt it, not this time around, depending on how it turns out. It may be something that I can do to sell as well. In my head, it seems pretty quick and easy. I will time myself and see how long it takes. And then from there, yeah, I think it's just the finishing touches for the whale, which all will have to be hand sewn. And I'm okay with that. It's just going to be a few stitches here and there. I was thinking of doing, like with the embroidery floss, doing some stitches for it to look like hand sewn, kind of. I might do that. I might do that. I shall see. I shall see how it looks. And if I don't like it, then I'll just take it off. But I'm going to go ahead and move you guys over here. I do need to cut my interfacing, iron my fabric. I already turned on my iron. And then it should be a quick and easy pouch. Hopefully it turns out. Hopefully it looks great. All right. Okay. Ignore the mess. Can't see it too much. This is the interfacing that I'm going to be using. It's not super stiff, but it'll do the job. And I'm just going to quickly iron this just to have a little bit more of a straight, non-wrinkly fabric. Most of this fabric has been folded for, may I say, years. I'm going to quickly just iron it and just the biggest wrinkles. I'm not too worried. It'll get sewn as we go anyway. So yeah, I am going to cut the interfacing to this size, but first I want to do this fabric right here, especially this little edge and then this center crease. All right. So again, it should be a quick and simple pouch. Depending on how it turns out, maybe I might make a tutorial video. It should be super quick. I don't think it'll take more than 30 minutes, maybe, possibly less. And obviously, once I make more of them, as I continue to practice, they should turn out, I think, a bit quicker. Right. That is the plan. Alrighty, so I am going to go ahead and cut a piece of interfacing to iron here. Need to trim a little bit. Out there. Move this over a little bit and then just quickly cut. And if it's not perfect measurement, I'm okay with that. Actually, my lining fabric I think is a little bit bigger, not by a lot, like barely noticeable. But it is a little bit bigger than my outer fabric and my print fabric. I don't know. I don't know why I did that. Yeah. So I can fold it and kind of make a crease here. Easier to cut. And I'm not using my fabric scissors for this. I could have. I didn't, and that's okay. Quick and easy. Alrighty, so now all I have to do is iron this on here. Just ironing this on here quickly. I may have left a few pieces. I have all my little scraps there. I don't know if you guys, oh yeah, you can see them. From the cutting. So for the whales on the inside, because most of the things are curved, I did use my pinking shears to cut the curves of the whale, just so it kind of turned out a little bit easier, not having to like manipulate the fabric on its own too much. Yeah. Alrighty, we have our interfacing. So now what I'm going to do, and I am going to iron this nice sides facing each other. Again, this is my lining fabric, this part right here. So what I'm going to do is place these here, and I'm quickly just going to sew down this line, and down one of the lines. Once that is done, I'll clip my corners, and then I'll turn the fabric inside out, and then I'll bring you guys back for the next step. All right, so again, all I'm going to do is just sew here, down here, and then down here, and I'll bring you guys back. I've finished sewing. All I'm doing now is trimming my corners a little bit on all four sides, making sure that I don't go to the thread or to the seam. I think I'm going to, on this side, cut a little bit off, simply because it just seems a little bit longer than the other side, and I don't want it to be super bulky. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim a little bit off of this side here. There you go. Just add it to the pile of scraps. Now I'm going to turn in my corners first. Something like that. Now, I think as far as size, you can pretty much customize it to whatever size you want to make it. I don't think, I was even thinking of making like a smaller pouch to attach. I did kind of want to add a pocket at the front, but I didn't, and I don't want to go through the trouble of having to add it now. So I'm not going to. I'm just kind of poking out my corners here, just so they are sharp. Nice and sharp corners. We all like those. And another one here. And all I'm using is a little dowel that I have. I believe it's actually a food skewer that I kind of cut diagonal off of something, and I kind of use this as my stylus too, or whatever it's called, to help me with the I'm having to hold a fabric sometimes for the, like, if it gets too close to the needle. Sorry, words. A little painful. All right, so all I'm doing now is kind of just running my hand through the inside to set those seams as close as possible, making sure that it all is straight. And then I'm gonna run the iron on it, and just to at least have everything crispy, nice and crispy. About here. Go. I know, maybe a little bit extra, but it's all right. It's all right. Again, I don't think the interfacing is necessary. I just kind of wanted a little bit more stiff, I guess, if you want to call it. I almost just ironed my finger there. But, all right. That is one side there. And now, do the bottom first. Bottom seam, like so. Up there. And then I'll let you guys see how everything should work out. Once we sew the final step, it's like the easiest, honestly. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully it works out. And we can do quick and easy pouches. Quick and easy pouches. So yeah, so the size of my fabric that I used specifically for this one, I believe, was a 22 by 9.5. And no particular reason. I mean, obviously I wanted a little bit bigger than 6 inches because that's the size of the hoop that I'm using for my other embroidery project. And I just wanted to make sure that that project fit. So I just wanted anything a little bit bigger than 6 inches. And 22 is the length of this, and this is going to be folded into 3. So I'm still needing to fold this edge here. And I'm just going to do a quick little hem. Well, I'll do it in a bit. Once I go back to the sewing machine. So I was thinking of doing about 10 inches here with a 2-inch flap here, which would fold this way. Because you're seeing it this way. So I would maybe make something like that. I believe that is, I have my mat here with the sizing. And that is a total of 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So about there. And then folding this flap over. But I'm going to sew down both of these sides. Right? So when I have to open it, let's see if it works with this clip. And clip the other side. So what I would have to do is kind of just flip it over to be able to take out the stuff, and then flip it back in when I have to, or just to kind of close it. So yeah, it would all be closed most of it all the time. That way nothing falls out, nothing falls in, and there's no zipper. Again, I could use a little clasp and not do this part here, not sew this down here, but I'm going to try it. I'm gonna try it like the way. Again, the worst thing that can happen is it doesn't work, and I just have to rip out the seams and sew it with the clasps or whatever. So yeah, this is gonna go down here. I do have to sew this little hem first, so I'm gonna do that and then do the sides, and then I'll bring you guys back for the final one to see if it worked out, if it looks like I want it to, if it functions the way that I want it to. And then we should be done. Did not take that long. Love it. Love that it did not take that long. All right, so let me go ahead and sew that hem then, and then I'll bring you guys back once we are ready to review the final thing. All right, so we have finished our pouch. Told you guys it was very, very simple. Honestly, I think it took me less than 20 minutes. Would I have skipped the interfacing? Probably, but let me show you guys how this is supposed to work. So I did do the a stitch all the way around down here. I didn't do one up here. I didn't do one down here. So just on the sides. And then I did the one for the hem on the inside. And the way that you would open this pouch, you just push the corners in, access whatever you need to access, and then you close it back up. And there you go. Nothing ever is going to fall out because again, it is permanently closed. And let me go ahead and bring my embroidery project to see how it fits. So currently I carry it around like this. Sneak peek of what I've been working on. I know I am always guilty of leaving the hoop on. I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that. So again, this is not how it's supposed to go, but or even if I want to protect what I've been working on, I can just flip this over this way like this. We open it how we are supposed to, and we should be able to insert it here. Close it up. Perfect. Look, it fits perfectly. Yep, there we go. And again, any size you can make smaller ones for coins or for smaller objects. I was thinking of making one for my headphones, maybe. Maybe even attach like a little latch for like a keychain. That would be pretty cool. I think that's something that I want to explore. Possibly in the near future. But there we go. This is our second project completed. For the whales, I just need to stuff them, sew them up, close them up, and then I'm still debating if I'm going to do the stitch that I want to do around it. So it looks like hand stitch and also reinforces the sewing from the sewing machine. It is for children. They are made for children, so I want to make sure that they last for a bit and not just, not make it very, very long. But they're a whale so far. We just have to make sure to finish them up, stuff them, and we should be good to go. I'll bring you guys back for the reveal of the whales once they are completed. Alrighty, I am going to speak a little bit louder because my microphone is in the other room and I am lazy. But we do have our two whales here. What do you guys think? They're adorable, super, super cute. Loved how they turned out. I'm just needing to add the eyes and embroider the names. I think I'm going to embroider the names probably down here because you can be able to see them a little bit better. I did want to do it here, but I think because of the pattern or print of the fabric, it's going to not look as great. I'm still debating if I'm going to do it or not. I just kind of like how they look like this. I think they turned out very, very cute. What do you guys think? Let me know down below if you guys liked it, and definitely really, really liked how this little pouch turned out. Again, you just turn it in this way. You're able to access whatever's inside, and then we're able to close it back up. So I like it. I want to make more. I think I could have made it a little bit shorter, possibly, but I think it'll be fine for this. I want to make a smaller one to put the threads in because currently I just have my project in here, as you guys can see. I like that it doesn't need any latches or any buttons to close it. And once you put it in and you flip it back out, then like things won't fall out because of the top holds it. But yeah, As were our 2 projects for the week. I'm so glad that we were able to finish them. I did start a few new cross stitch patterns, but this next week I will be working on a crochet order that I have, and let's see what else we have. I'll since we're doing crochet, I might just find something else to do or start. I do want to make sure that I have a sweater for the winter. I know it's just April, almost end of April, actually. So I want to make sure that I'm able to finish or start with time to be able to finish it on time. Noticing that a lot of the projects that I'm doing are taking a little bit longer than I plan or expect. But I don't know. I'm still debating what we're going to do this next week. Definitely, I do need to do those 2 crochet ones. And then maybe I'll give you guys a few updates for... Oh, you know what? Yes, the next week's project will be the moon update, the moon cross stitch pattern update. So you can expect that next Monday, which will be a little bit later than usual. I usually do it around the 21st, 22nd. This one's going to be the 27th. Which is fine. It'll be fine. I'm better pushing it off to the end of the month. That way I have a little bit better track of when to upload the videos. But anyway, if you guys would like a more detailed tutorial, an actual how to make this pouch, let me know down below and I can definitely work on that. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't yet, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.